I would certainly, if I was in charge, change many of the policies we have. But it's more important that we in this country become adults. Nothing a person does in his life doesn't have a counter reaction. Does our foreign policy motivate these people? Absolutely. Sir, if you're going to tell the American people they're fighting a war against a bunch of deranged, nihilist, fanatic extremists, we're going to be fighting a war that it's constantly going to surprise the American people about the costs of what they're doing. If we come to a place where we can have a discussion that says supporting Israel is essential to the U.S. security, supporting Saudi Arabia is important, vital to U.S. security, having U.S. troops in Muslim countries is vital to U.S. security, fine. But also tell the American people that costs come with that. Right now, we've spent 17 years in this war, and the American people still think we're fighting a bunch of long-haired, bearded, goat-eating madmen. And we're at a terrible disadvantage that we impose on ourselves, sir. And I would finish too long a statement by simply saying that we must stop the idiocy of democracy spreading. If it was up to me, I'd dump the Israelis tomorrow.
I know you would. I know.
But all I worry about is the continuing preaching of American politicians to the American people that our relationship with the Israelis doesn't cause us to have dead Americans and extraordinary expenses in fighting the Muslim world.
I would just say we would have more dead Americans if we didn't stand by our allies in the Middle East.
Well,
we'd just be encouraging al-Qaeda to take advantage of us. I think that
our allies in the Middle East are mostly totalitarian, sir, and they have been for 50 years.
There are not that many good people in the world. The fact is you have to work with those who work with us. And if I had the choice between dealing with the Israelis and al-Qaeda, I work with Israel. If I had the choice between dealing with Jordan or al-Qaeda, I'd deal with Jordan. And the fact is that you can find any number of excuses why al-Qaeda is going to come after us.
No, sir, you can't.
Yes, I think you can.
No, you
certainly
can't,
can.
sir. They're not fighting us for what reason do you suppose they're going to come up with? Because we have Hollywood? I would like to fight Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they're not going to fight us because we have women in the workplace. That's an insanity. What they're fighting us about is what we do. And we don't have to stop what we're doing, sir. But we have to realize the cost.
And I think it'd be lost if we stop what we're doing, and that's my point.
Well, that's fine. Tell the American people that.
There's also a cost what you're asking for, and I think that cost will be a lot greater.
I don't think so, sir.
Well,
it couldn't be worse than it is now.
We honestly disagree.
You know, you're presiding over a bankruptcy. What can be worse? And what has been the goal of al-Qaeda since it was formed? To bankrupt the United States. Who's winning today, sir? We're done like dinner.
We're winning, and we'll continue to win unless we take the advice of people like you.
You are exactly wrong.
Before I do that, I just want to mention this quickly. I find your position on our alliance with Israel as very troubling. It won't surprise you to tell you that I disagree with you. And you spent 17 years, is that right, or something like that, as a CIA analyst?
Over 20, sir.
Okay, over 20?
Not as an analyst. I ran operations, sir.
Okay. Would you say there's a large number of CIA analysts or employees who agree with your position?
I wouldn't dare to speak for anybody but myself, sir. Well, only a fool wouldn't know that our relationship with Israel causes us war with Muslims.
Well, my question is fairly simple. I mean,
sir.
You worked with hundreds of employees.
Yes, sir.
You certainly
didn't work with any fools, sir.
I have spent significant time with many people from that region, and it is astounding to me that you don't put in the top 6 what I know to be true, and that is they are motivated, many of them are motivated by their absolute hatred of the United States and what we represent, whether it's freedom, whether it's democracy, whether it's women's rights. There are many of them who are absolutely motivated by that. I know that. I have talked with them.
They hate them, sir.
And I can't imagine that you would not put that in some way.
They're not going to die for that, sir.
Oh, they absolutely have.
They have not, sir.
Well,
this war is not, they wouldn't have anything we have in this
country. You are turning a blind eye to history for you to say that they won't
die. Bullshit, sir. You don't need to call me professor either. You should call me Mike. The reality is no one has blown themselves up because this young lady...
Professor, you're absolutely wrong on that. I'm going to move on now.
Well, no, you pulled this up. You said there's millions of people out there.
Professor, you're absolutely wrong on that. I'm going to move on if we could.
I wish you would move on.
Here's some